Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am so glad that you are here. Today is a beautiful day. It is cloudy, kind of like overcast, but that means the sun is not shining that bright, but we still have some sun. It's like partly cloudy, but it's like 78 degrees, so there is a light, gentle breeze. It just did like a little light rain shower, so it's the perfect time to be outside and to get some things done. So today we're in the back of the house, and I'm excited about this video because we are installing a tool that's going to help us be way more efficient and organized on the farm. And so I want to show it to you and go ahead and wet your whistle because you're going to want one of these. You are going to want one if you don't have one. If you are brand new to me, thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Barbara. I live in Tennessee in Zone 7B, and my husband and I homestead on about 75 plus acres of land. We have garden, greenhouse, we do DIY, cook from scratch, food preservation, all the things. And I'm so glad that you stopped by today and hope that you will subscribe to this channel and follow our gardening journey. And if you've been here before, thank you so much for stopping by. But today I want to thank VGO Garden for sponsoring this video, and we are going to be trying out one of their new products, which is a hose reel. This is one of the things that I've always wanted but have yet to pull the trigger. And when I saw the one that VGO Garden had, I knew, I'm like, oh, I gotta get it. Because if you've seen me before watering my garden, either back here or in the tunnel, you know, one, I've gone through a lot of hose pipes in my day over the last 5 years of gardening. And then two, it's always what I call like a trip hazard because the hoses are always, you know, spread out among the tunnel and the greenhouse, and it's hard to maneuver and to manage and to get every piece that you need to get. So today is going to end all that because we are putting, I shouldn't say we, my husband is putting in a hose reel set, but I'm going to take you along and let you see what we're doing, what it looks like, how it operates, and then we're going to do some stuff around the garden as well. So one of the first things to do when we're doing the hose reel set, and the hose reel set that we have is retractable. It comes in 3 colors. It comes in like an ocean white, I think it's like a seaweed green, and then a tide pool blue. We got the tide pool blue. It looks more grayish, blackish, but it is like a dark slate blue. But one of the first things to do is to actually dig a hole in the ground so that we can attach the mounting post. So I'm gonna show you some footage of my husband using, I think it's an auger, to kind of make a hole in the ground. And the instructions say that we want the post to be about 4 feet above ground level as a general guideline. I think he's gonna try to go like maybe a foot, and then it'll be like 3 feet above, but we're gonna check it out and see. So let me show you and take you back to him actually digging the post, or digging the hole for the post. So my husband is continuing to use the auger to get the hole as deep as he wants. He just checked it, and it's right at 11 inches. So we're trying to get it to at least a foot to begin with. He's using the auger again to kind of put the hole in there. You can see the distance we are from the house. He went out this distance just so that he wanted to make sure that once we put the hose reel actually on the mounting post, that it wasn't so close to the house as it swiveled around and all of that. Ideally, I would like it to be a little bit closer to the house, but just out of precaution and safety, he's making sure that he has enough clearance to actually put the reel on top of the post. So you can see this is what the hose reel looks like. That is the tide pool blue color. So it's almost like a slate blue, almost grayish looking. Here's the mounting post. The mounting post is sold separately, so you don't have to get that. You can use wood, but the mounting post is going to go in this hole right here that my husband just dug. So we'll walk you through how we're going to do it. Now with my code, you can get 5% off the hose reel set up until June the 30th. But also anytime you're buying products from VGO Garden, I have a $10 off code that you can use. It'll be linked down in the description below. So definitely, you guys know that I have VGO Garden raised beds inside my tunnel. You've seen those before, the 2 circular beds, and then I also have VGO Garden beds in the outside garden going around the perimeter. So again, I love VGO Gardens and their products. Their products are always sturdy, they're always durable, they're non-toxic, safe for the environment, and they last a really, really long time. Now, when it comes to the retractable hose reel sets, when you go to the website, you will see that there are two different sets. There's one that's just a regular hose reel set, and there's also one that's a high flow set for like high flow retractable hose reel set, and that's the one that we're installing back here in the back. The high flow is for, you know, greater water pressure, and you have like really big jobs and where you're going to be using it a ton and a lot of water flowing through it. So I have one of each. I think for the tunnel we got the regular one, and then I think for back here we got the high flow reel set. So that's the one that he's installing now. But ideally we're going to have one back here. As you guys know, my husband just put drip in the beds a couple of weeks ago. If you didn't see that video, I'll pop it up here. He talked about how he installed the drip in the raised beds. So that's going to be a game changer. We haven't gotten it connected yet to water, but you guys know I've been hand watering this for the past 5 years. So the hose reel set definitely is going to come in handy. But also we have our GREENSTALKs out here as well. And we do have the automatic watering system from GREENSTALK. I use that and have it hooked up when we're out of town for extended periods of time. But when I'm home, I don't necessarily run it because I don't want to have to turn it on and off when the rain comes and when it's not raining and all that. So when I'm home, I just manually water it. And so this will come in handy when I'm manually watering the GREENSTALKs. And then obviously, you know, in the tunnel, it's going to come in handy a lot. We do have everything on drip except the things that are in containers. And then I have a couple of places in my raised beds where the drip, when we did it, it did not extend all the way. And so like right at the edges of some of my raised beds, it does not get the drip water. So I have to manually water that. So this is going to be a game changer. One, I can walk into my tunnel and the aisleway will be clear and free of hoses. So I won't be tripping and nobody else will be tripping, because I'm always telling people when they come to the tunnel to watch their step, because again, you know your space, you know where the hazards are because you're in it every day. But when people come to visit, I'm always nervous that people are gonna, you know, trip and fall. And we try to keep it clean, but you know, when you're gardening and you're in the heat of the season, you're just doing the best that you absolutely can. So let's go back in and check in with my husband and see about the post and the next step. Hey guys, so I'm gonna let my husband explain kind of what we just figured out with the mounting post versus the wood and all of that. Go ahead, honey.
All right, so I had watched some installation videos for the Vego water hose system, and I never saw them use a mounting post. And so they were using wood. And so I bought some wood, and I understood that you needed to dig a hole, and now we're figuring out how deep it needs to be. And so, but we have the mounting post, which I think she showed a little earlier, this right here. And so this takes the place of wood. So instead of putting a 4x4 post in the ground, we're going to use the metal post that can be used to screw straight on top of concrete, or you can put it down in a hole 14 inches and then put concrete in the hole. So that's what we're going to do. This piece, if we used a wood post, we would use this piece to connect to the wood post. But because we have this metal pole, we don't need this, and we don't need the wood post that we bought. So we're going to put this in the ground and then hook, when the concrete dries, we will put the hose system on it. Now, they're saying that this should be down in the ground 14 inches. The first 4 inches you should put rocks down in the ground, they're suggesting, and then use the other 10 inches and pour concrete in it. So we're going to try to stay with what they're suggesting, just to make sure that nothing goes wrong or anything like that. So we're almost through digging the hole. We need a few more inches down in the ground, and then we're going to put some rocks down in there, level it out, and then we're going to put this in there with some concrete and then give it time to dry.
So guys, when it comes to ordering this, you have options. You can or cannot get the mounting post. It is completely optional and it's completely separate. You can just get just the hose reel set. And if you have wood around your house, if you prefer to have the wood look versus the mounting post, then you can do that as well, whichever way you prefer. And like I said, it does come in 3 different colors, so you can do whatever color you prefer that matches the aesthetic of your house or whatever you're going for. But I'm really excited to have this. So he has a few more, I guess, inches to go to get the hole. Then we're gonna fill it up with rocks a certain level and then pour concrete in, and then we'll be ready for the hose reel set. And it automatically comes with the hose pipe in the retractable hose reel set, so you don't have to buy like a separate hose pipe and get it in there. It all kind of comes together. So while my husband was finishing up trying to get the hole dug, I decided to work on something else on my to-do list, which was to weed my onion beds. So I'm using my cultivator tool that I've talked about before to try to get in here. As you can see, the onions are looking really, really good. In this particular bed, they have not tried to bulb and flower. I showed you a couple of weeks ago that some of my onions were trying to go to seed in the bed that's next to this one. This bed, not so much, which is so odd because they're both planted pretty much in the same space. One is trying to go to seed and one isn't, which is very, very interesting. Because they are both getting the same type of weather. So I'm trying to get in between the beds and weed as much as I possibly can. But as you can see, the bed is full. He has laid drip in there, even though we don't have the drip going yet. I'm trying to avoid the drip line, and I'm trying to avoid some of the stems of the onions as well. So I'm using the cultivator tool to kind of break it up and then pull out the rest of it with my hands, and just trying to get in here the best that I can. I'm not too concerned about it because these onions, again, they should be ready to harvest hopefully in a couple of weeks. And so once I pull the onions out, then I'll be able to kind of cultivate the bed 100% before we put another crop in there. But I've been trying to weed as much as I can every single week, because you don't want weeds growing as much, because I want the onions to have as much space as they need to do their final bulbing and not be choked out by weeds. So I'm just doing the best I can to kind of keep the bed maintained. But I'm really happy about how these look. Now in this particular bed, the onions are not bulbing up as much as the bed to the right of it. So again, that's interesting because the bed to the right, they are trying to go to seed. I've had several bulbs show up on those onions, but they are definitely have bulbed more. I don't know if there's a relation to that or not. This bed right here that I'm working on has not had the bulbing like trying to go to seed, but they're not bulbing, but they have not tried to go to seed, but they're not bulbing as much. Like you can't see the onion kind of sitting on top of the ground. I'm not concerned. I've had that before. I feel very confident that they are going to bulb here, hopefully this week. Definitely. We have pretty decent weather in the forecast, so I'm hoping that that is the case. Although I did see at the very end of the week, the temperature is supposed to drop down to like 65, but we got a lot of days in between now and then, so the weather may change. We'll take a look in and just be watchful and see. So now I go over to the other bed to cultivate it. And if you look closely, you can see that there are some onions going to seed. Now last week I showed you this, but then I also came back out here and I snipped the top of those where they were trying to go to seed, just trying to give it more time. But you can see that there are still some onions that are trying to go to seed. And if you look closely, you can see that there are some onions kind of bulbing up on the ground. You can kind of see them sitting a little bit protruding through the soil, which is a good thing. And the size right now, I would say it's probably from small to medium. But again, they have a couple of more weeks to bulb up and get to be a little bigger. So we'll see what happens. So I'm curious to see what happens and the size of these, considering that they were trying to go to seed and the other ones weren't. And then I also wonder if it's a variety thing, because this is the first year I'm doing Texas Sweet, and I'm pretty sure that's what's in this bed versus the other bed is candy. So my husband got the hole where he wanted it in terms of depth wise. He has the pole kind of just standing in there, and I don't know if you can tell or not, but he has a level on it to make sure that it's level. You definitely want to make sure that it's level and it's not off-centered or not the way that you want it. He's using a new form of concrete. I will get the name of it and the packaging, but whatever he's using is some type of liquid that blends in. It's going to create a foam and it's going to harden like in a couple of hours. I'll get all the particulars after he gets done, but he said that you have to like move like really quickly. It has to be done within like 15 minutes or so. Let's see if we can get a closer shot. So it was a liquid when you put it in there. and now it's foaming up. He had me set a timer for 3 minutes. So, is that how long you have to hold the?
Yeah, 3 to 5 minutes.
3 to 5 minutes, okay. I don't know if you guys have ever used this before. Like I said, I'll show you the packaging as soon as we get done. But whatever he bought, he said it's equivalent to 2 50-pound bags of concrete mix. And I don't know if you can hear my dogs. They are just panting. They're like right on my heels. And I'm trying to keep them at bay so they don't even walk over here. Y'all know wherever I am, that's where they are. Wow, y'all, it's like, it is literally like a chemical reaction. Can you see how it's foaming? The sun is so bright now, so it's hard for me to see what you can see. So he was saying if you were doing a fence that had several posts and you had all the posts ready, then obviously you could do it. But once you mix it, you have to use it all. So is this going to be all concrete right here on the ground?
Yeah, but we can cut it and trim it. That's the beauty of it. So it'll look good once it's done.
You got 1 minute and 30 seconds left. It would be nice if it like formed a little perfect little square. You get it to form a perfect little square. That would be nice since it's so much extra, but oh well. I don't know if you can hear it. It's like just formulating. You said that you had already seen this before on where?
Seen it online. That this product was available.
Let me see if I can turn the package over so they can see it.
It's called HISEA. That is the front of the package.
I know, but it's upside down.
Okay.
This is what he's using. HISEA Post Fix. It's supposed to be, it says polyurethane foam, sets as fast as 3 minutes. This is like watching a science experiment. Okay, guys, he decided to go a couple of more minutes extra because the package says 3 to 5 minutes. So we're going to go the full 5 minutes and let it sit. And then after that, I think it's supposed to harden on its own in 2 hours. But I think the first time you put it in there is 3 to 5 minutes to let it sit. Okay, guys, the 5 minutes is up. So basically, we're going to let this sit for 2 hours and come back and check and see if it's hard. While we're letting that harden, I asked my husband to help me lift off these tiers so I can put my base on my 3-tier GREENSTALK. If you remember when I set this up, I did not have the base and the lid. I had already put the lid on there, but now it's time for me to put the base on there. This is the ultimate spinner kit. So I'm going to sit my GREENSTALK on that so it'll be like all of my other ones. I love this base. Because you can spin it around. So especially for me, because since I have it up against the house, I can spin this around. So if I feel like one of the areas that's closest to the house is not getting enough sun, that I can spin it around to make sure that all the plants are getting the appropriate sun. So we're just taking the tiers apart so that we can set it on the base, and then we'll just reattach the tiers on there. You can see that my plants in there are doing good, but because I haven't been able to spin it around, I really hadn't seen the plants on the backside, but they are looking good. So on that tier, you see I got some begonias and the white flower, and then I have a pepper on the other end. So here I'm just helping my husband line up where to put the next tier of the GREENSTALK. It's hard to see when you're looking down, especially once you have plants and stuff in there. So I'm just helping him, trying to figure out where to attach it. But y'all, I'm so in love with this cherry blossom. I'm so in love with the 3-tier. I'm just in love. And I just want to say thank you guys for everybody who used my code during the Mother's Day sale. I appreciate you guys supporting me and the partnerships that I have with certain affiliates. I do appreciate that. I hope that everybody is happy with your purchases. I hope that you got the colors that you wanted, and I hope that all of you out there that are mothers had a wonderful Mother's Day. Okay, guys, it is 2 hours later. It did harden. It's almost like styrofoam, wouldn't you say, honey?
Yeah.
And so he's just cutting away the excess. Now, it's not the most sightly thing, so I guess, what are we going to do so there's not like a big old thing of styrofoam?
We're cutting it. We'll cut it down to the ground.
Okay, he's going to cut it down to the ground. But you can see the hose reel is on there. It looks good, so let's test her out. Okay, guys, it's all set up. So it has this ball here. I'm assuming this is to kind of help with the weight of it. And so we're going to try it out. So this is a 100-foot hose. I think it comes in 50, 75, or 100, so you can get whatever you need. But my goal was to get 100 so that I can go all the way to the very end of my bed. So let's just pull it out. Let's see if we can make it to. All right, we're here. Now, I had actually watered this earlier, so it actually doesn't need watering, but I just want to show that it does come all the way. So that is going to be perfect, because if I can go to this point, then I can go to anything out here. And again, we're getting this set up on drip. It's not hooked up to the water yet. My husband has to buy like a 3-way splitter so we can use this and this. But it's good to know that I have this so I can use it for when I bring my houseplants out here to water. I can use it for my green stalks. I can use it for anything else that I need for my watering standpoint. So it is retractable. So let's just walk it back. And honey, I'm assuming I have to get all the way back over here, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So we'll just walk it back. And then we're just gonna tug here, and then I'll just kind of guide it in. Just so that it doesn't slam into the thing. But it's going pretty fast. And this thing swivels. Is it supposed to swivel?
Yes, yes.
I just want to make sure my fingers don't get caught. Let's see. Perfect. Just like that. So this is going to be so great. So I don't have to worry about any of the hose pipe in the yard. Every time my husband and my son cut the grass, they always have to move the hose pipes to get the grass cut. This is going to be out of the way. They can come out here free and clear because, you know, they cut the grass, but then my hose pipe is still like back curled up somewhere and I have to go out and lug it out. But this is going to be great. So it swivels. I think my husband's going to cut the rest of this away so it's kind of like non-existent so that you can't see it. But I guess you could and again, you can use regular concrete. He was just wanting to try this product out because he had seen it before somewhere else, and it worked really, really quickly. You just have to deal with, you know, the way it looks. But overall, I think we're gonna like this, and you can make it close to the house if you wanted it, but this is gonna work good. We're gonna also set up one in the tunnel. So definitely, guys, if you do not have a hose reel and you're in the market for one, try this VGO Garden one. Again, you can get $10 off. I have a $10 off coupon code in my description below, or you can get 5% off this specifically. The $10 off code is for anything that you buy at VGO Garden. And then the hose reel, you can get 5% off until June the 30th. So check out the link in my description below. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. It's been quite a day. I've done other stuff in between while waiting for this to harden. So that's why you see I've changed clothes by now, and I wanted to come out here and shoot it before it gets too dark. Hopefully you can see it. But y'all remember, this is all part of it. Garden is a journey. Let's grow together. Can't wait to see you on the next video.